Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Electric by WesBank. My name is Papi Mabele and I'm your host on this show as we take a closer look and deep dive into the world of electric and new energy vehicles. With that out of the way, let's take a closer look at what's coming up on this special episode. Coming up on this show, we take a look at the 2025 Omoda C9 PHEV, and then we visit the 2025 Festival of Motoring powered by WesBank, where we sit down with Declan Jones, the head of vehicle ecosystem development at WesBank, and then we close it off with our EV news. Stay tuned. This right here is a 2025 Omoda C9 PHEV. What I like about this car is that it's a plug-in hybrid and it bridges that gap perfectly for those that are not quite, keen on transitioning to the full EV space, but are quite curious as to what plugins or what the electric field has to offer. Talking about looks, focusing on this car right in front, the fascia is very, very clean. What you get is that light bar or light strip, and then you get that Omoda lettering on the sides. You get those teardrop kind of effect coming through from the daytime running lights, and then you get that clean front bumper, and then underneath that is some sensors and some air intakes. And then let's look at the side of the vehicle. And then when you come to the side, you get that coupe-like shape coming through, which reminds me of the Range Rover Velar. And then to the ground, you have 20-inch wheels. To the rear, you have another light bar coming through to close off everything nicely. And then let's have a look inside. Inside the Omoda C9, you're greeted with a very lavish and premium interior. You're greeted with a curved display right in front. In the center, you have one for your infotainment, which supports wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Right in front of the driver, you have a very big steering wheel, which has multifunction support, as well as an instrument cluster right in front of that. Back into the center, you get wireless charging for all your devices, and then you get a very big cubby or console rather for keeping your drinks and any valuable items. The rest of the interior is leather all around, which is very spacious and very big for a family, and then the boot is also to match for all your luggage or your daily trips to the shops as well. And then let's talk about driving, and I can give you all the figures about that engine. Now, for those obsessed with power, the Omoda C9 PHEV is powered by a 1.5-litre engine that's mated to 3 electric motors. That gives you a total power output of 440 kilowatts and 915 Newton meters of torque. The ride quality is smooth with an air suspension to match, although that does cause it though to be a bit on the understeering side of things. Overall, with that range of 1,100, this car is perfect, especially for South African roads where you really want to take on a road trip. And that's that from our driving impressions of this car. In terms of pricing, you can expect to pay about 999,000 Rand for this Omoda C9 PHEV. And that's that from our time with the Omoda C9 PHEV. I'm quite curious to find out what you think of this car. Is this car for you, or would you rather go for something else? Leave your comments down below in the comment section and stay tuned for more. Coming to you live from the Festival of Motoring 2025, and I'm going to be showing you everything from the highlights of all the electric and new energy vehicles that we've seen on this show this year. So stay tuned and buckle up. With over 32,000 visitors exploring the latest innovations, the green and yellow zone at the Festival of Motoring became a showcase for the electric revolution taking hold on our roads. Making waves was BYD, who officially teased their most affordable electric vehicle yet, the Dolphin Surf, and it's priced below 400,000 Rand. With battery options offering up to 322 kilometers of range and DC fast charging support, it's bringing electric mobility within reach of more South Africans. Meanwhile, GAC or GAC gave us a glimpse of their all-electric Aeon Y, signaling the brand's commitment to electrification beyond their current petrol lineup. But it wasn't just pure EV stealing the show. The plug-in hybrid revolution was on full display, with Chery showcasing the impressive super hybrid lineup, the Tiggo 7, 8 and 9 CHS models, offering up to 90 kilometers of electric-only range and a combined 1,200 kilometer total range. MG's HS PHEV turned heads with its spirited 220 kilowatt output, combining a 115 kilowatt electric motor with a 105 kilowatt petrol engine for the best of both worlds. And Omoda's new C7 Impress with its HHS plug-in hybrid system, delivering 255 kilowatts and that same impressive 1,000 kilometer range. And here is the C9 as well. Of course, electric vehicles need charging infrastructure. Grid Cars was prominently featured at the festival, showcasing their charging solutions and demonstrating that the ecosystem to support these vehicles is growing rapidly across South Africa. But what's driving this electric and hybrid vehicle boom? According to WesBank, nearly half of their vehicle finance customers are now under 35, and this younger generation is embracing new energy vehicles in a big way. Between January 2022 and July 2025, WesBank financed 287 battery electric vehicles, with nearly half of those being pre-owned, proving that the used EV market is making electrification more accessible than ever. To understand what this means for South Africa's automotive future, we sat down with Declan Jones, Head of Vehicle Ecosystem Development at WesBank, to find out more.
I think there's going to be a maturity scale that's going to happen with EV. From a new energy perspective, traditional hybrids are still the biggest sellers in the market. And what we are seeing is a lot of participants coming in with plug-in hybrids. If you have to ask my personal opinion, that's going to be the future for the next couple of years. While people get comfortable with the fact that infrastructure still needs to grow, battery technology is still going to enhance, and there are still some concerns. Range anxiety, for one, is a big one, and plug-in hybrids, PHEVs, definitely solve for a lot of those. So I do see that phase in EVs moving very quickly, but we are seeing a strengthening in pure EVs as well, and the more models that come in and the more affordable models that come in, I definitely think we will see growth. It's been a limitation that a lot of the models that are in the market at the moment are at the higher price point. So new, more affordable items coming into the market, I definitely is going to think is going to open up the EV market in South Africa. One of the stats that I touched on this morning is that 45% of our new business is for customers younger than 35. So there's a bit of a misnomer that the younger generation is not buying cars. They are. They're interested in mobility. It's also a very aspirational purchase. And the great thing about EVs is they are nice and fast as well. So, as I touched on this morning, used and affordable entry vehicles are definitely the trend for the short and medium term. There is economic optimism, but the consumer still remains constrained. And importantly, consumers need to buy within their means. We're all aspirational, but you do need to buy with your needs and consider total cost of ownership. So to me, I think we are seeing the consumer migrating to understanding this total cost of ownership, given that it's probably your second biggest expense apart from your mortgage. So used and entry-level new vehicles will still be a great theme. I think we're going to see more competition in the market, particularly with new Chinese entrants coming in the next 12 months. So we are going to get a very diverse set of opportunities there. And I think we're going to start seeing maybe some early signs of a move to mobility away from pure ownership of a vehicle. Right now, there are very limited options in terms of financing and products out there to enhance mobility, but we can see the trends in the market that some customers are looking for mobility, not necessarily to own their vehicle. So those are typical trends that we're seeing at the moment. Geopolitically, it's a tough one. I do think we're going to see a move from OEMs to look into broader Africa, away from the US, given the tariffs and the challenges that we have there. So it's going to be a very interesting space, definitely in the next year to 5 years in the automotive industry. It's going to be a very exciting times. And as we chatted about this morning, there's a lot of challenges, with challenges comes the opportunity to innovate and evolve, relook at business models, and make sure that we solve for mobility going forward.
And now for the latest in EV news. BYD has officially launched the Dolphin Surf, which is South Africa's most affordable EV yet. It's priced at just $339,000 for the comfort variant and $389,000 for the dynamic model. This breakthrough pricing makes it cheaper than the previous entry-level EV. And it includes a 7-kilowatt home wall box charger, comprehensive warranty packages, and 8-year battery coverage. This is a game changer for mass EV adoption in South Africa. And on September 9, 2025, Eskom launched their first ever electrified fleet. This was their first fleet of 20 electric vehicles, with the distribution division leading the charge. Acting Group Executive Agnes Mlambo stated that having successfully rolled out EVs within their fleet, they are now ready to enable wider adoption by bringing practical charging infrastructure to all South Africans. This marks Eskom's transition from power supplier to mobility enabler. And now for some stories out of Cape Town. Artel Energy is powering South Africa's largest public EV bus charging project in the city. It's supporting 68 BYD B12 electric buses already in operation, with plans to scale to 120 by year end. Each bus carries 65 passengers with 240-kilometer range per charge, and this transition will eliminate an estimated 18,000 tons of CO2 emissions annually. Public transport electrification is finally gaining serious momentum. And then, according to the Green Cape Electric Vehicle Market Intelligence Report 2025, by the end of 2024, South Africa's cumulative passenger EV market reached 3,543 vehicles, with a total market value of 2.8 billion rand. However, industry experts warn that 100,000 EVs are needed for the charging sector to become financially viable. We're making progress, but scale remains our biggest challenge. And that's that for our EV news this week. Stay tuned for more on this episode. And we've come to the end of our Let's Talk Electric by WesBank episode. We hope you've enjoyed watching this show as much as we've enjoyed creating it for you. As always, please make sure that you're subscribed to this WesBank channel to be the first one to know when we drop the latest episode. And also share your thoughts in the comment section down below, and make sure that you share this video with your friends and family wide. From myself, Papi Mabele, your host of Let's Talk Electric, powered by WesBank, thank you so much for watching, and you have yourself a great one.